Okie dokie. In onwards. Onwards.
Timmy, are you here? Timmy?
I'm here. I'm okay. Scruffy protected me. Are you all okay? Everything started to shake. I barely had time to get into Scruffy. You okay, Wayne?
Okay. Being a doll.
I didn't hide. I was collecting important data. Did I hear some twins like Wayne! Ollie!
What's happening?
I feel like the hold is falling out from under us. Stop. I think we all feel that way. We've got a new dragon to contend with. Nothing will ever be the same. No, it won't. Morgemoth did this, and it's only just starting.
Morgemoth? Raises the stakes to a whole new level. Doesn't it?
Gods, we need a plan. What are we gonna do?
Let's see, you really think all these vines are related to Morgemoth? All these dusts? I'm quite certain. What are we gonna do? We start by following Scarlet's trail. Scarlet believed she had seen the bigger picture. It was part of her delusion. I don't think bringing down the Zephyrites was part of Scarlet's plan, but both she and the Saboteur talked about the destruction of Tyria, I know. Aaron said that Tyrian said a Tyrian leader would die. This makes me think someone or something was pulling his strings. That scares me the most about him. Trouble is, we have no idea who he meant. It could be anyone, though the biggest threat to Morgemoth is probably Traherne. I hate the thought that Queen Jenna could be in danger too. He said several other strange things too. Yes, like, it will be so pleased, and I've seen the bigger picture. It sounded so much like Scarlet. It was unnerving. I suspect we can still learn from Scarlet, even posthumously. Let's see, for the record, I agree that this is Morgemoth's doing it. It all started with Scarlet. We need to understand her. Did you see her voice recorder, her books and papers? I'm just glad you're okay. What have you learned here? Let's see, lots of things. Like Scarlet started with steam creatures, then graduated to Aether and Watchwork. She released a bunch of the steam creatures into the wild. Oh, and she killed Omad. Killed Omad? He was her last mentor. He experimented on her with his mind-widening device, and that's when she saw the eternal alchemy, or what she thought was it. So she killed him for it? No, she killed him because once he realized his device worked, he started looking at her like she was a lab rat, not like an assistant or student. He was going to experiment more on her. I see, but surely Omad wouldn't have hurt her? Historically speaking, previous generations of Azura, including Omad's, viewed the Sylvari as an anomaly to be studied. When the first Sylvari arrived, many were victimized in the interest of arcane knowledge. Do you have any new insight into that drawing on the wall? Actually, I do. Based on Scarlet's writings and her holographic recorder over there, I've come up with a theory. I think that's the representation of her vision. Her vision. Her mentor Omad made a device that opened the mind. When she tried it, she had a vision. At the center is a symbol I've seen used to represent the pale tree. And you think she drew that after it? Yes, she claimed that she had seen the eternal alchemy during the vision. The symmetrical elements in the drawing and the pale tree at the center lead me to that conclusion. Why the pale tree? In her vision, she saw the pale tree attacked by a thorn vine. She described it as doing terrible damage to the pale tree. That sounds terrible. Did it bother her? It pleased her. She even grew some thorny vines to strangle a man. The parallel with the vines from her vision is not lost on me. What about ley lines? Have you learned anything new? The most interesting thing of all, Scarlet theorized that our waypoint positioning coincides with the locations of the most powerful ley lines. Was she right? Likely, but not yet confirmed. I need to do more research. I need to better understand the elements that drew her to that conclusion. Yes,
Able to figure out what Scarlet is doing here.
just moving backwards.
Oh my! What's happening?
Hey, come look at this. There's a passage behind this bookshelf.
What?
What the fuck?
Get out of my way! Let me see.
Settle down. Boss, go first.
Alright, but hurry up.
Come on,
Let's see, this notebook titled Research Notes has a complex set of equations, drawings, and engineering blueprints. Let's see, this piece of paper was torn from a book. Letters sent home from soldiers in the Cornan army have given us great insight into their lives. In the 11th century AE, their leader, Osa, inspired great loyalty. That's part of Nightfall. In one particular speech, Osa praised her military and encouraged them to use their persuasive abilities to build the power of Korna from the inside. She said if properly convinced, you can get whole groups of lesser creatures to work toward your goal without them realizing they're not working for themselves. Osa cites the alliance between centaurs and Kornan craftspeople as an example. Together they produced better armor and weapons, and they provided for the Kornan people's day-to-day needs. Let's see, A History of Dry Top by Nicholas Sanford, 1070 AE. When a barren landscape, this rounded basin may have held water many millennia ago. Sand now covers everything, blowing on the wind and eroding all, rocks and inhabitants alike. Let's see, the unknown sentient beings once built fragile hillside homes high on the cliff sides. Some structures still linger, but will also fall victim to the blowing sand and hot sun. The area attracts outlaws on the run with something to hide, or those who are unwelcome amongst civilized folk for one reason or another. This makes the area dangerous to travelers such as me and Yakington. Migrating centaur packs through here. It seems there is evidence that they once had a refuge here, a large tree trunk, quite out of place. Could have been one of their sacred trees. God, I'm doing terrible. Despite appearances, this waterless area is far from lifeless, and it serves as the doorway into the Maguma jungle, a region of uncontrollable growth, life, and often death. Nicholas Sanford. He's from the first game. I think he's also known as the Traveling Merchant. Let's see. On the open page of this book, Scarlet drew a route leading up and out of her tunnel to a higher region of Dry Top. Ooh, the points on Scarlet's map trace a path winding across this higher region of Dry Top to some unknown destination where she drew crisscrossing light bulb bolts. lightning bolts. And twisting. And twisting and twisting. See, did you find something? You found something, didn't you? Let's see, Scarlet left a map showing that she headed someplace to the southwest. I bet it leads to the ley line she discovered. You stay here with the others for now. I'm gonna see where this takes me.